right, we've done a lot since the last time I talked about legal writing, but I feel like it's a good time to talk about it now. Up to this point, we focused on a single authority memo. A memo is a letter written to a partner and associate outlining the relevant case of law for a client. And we use this format in the memo that is going to help us understand or really help the reader understand what that relevant case law is, and it's very structured. Previously, we've only been using one source of authority, meaning one case, to inform that memo. And now that we've finished our first writing assignment of that single authority, we're going to start talking about how to use multiple authorities in this memo and how those multiple authorities change how we actually do our analysis of our discussion section. So let's just go over briefly how the similarities and the differences between a single authority memo and a multi-authority memo. Let's talk about the similarities. What does not change from the single authority memo to the multi-authority memo? Well, what's not going to change is the overall structure. The memo is structured where you have a question presented, and then you have a short answer, and the facts, and then the discussion section. And let's talk about the discussion section more thoroughly. The discussion, you're going to have a global rule, meaning what's the rule of law, and then that's going to outline certain conditions that needs to be met. Those conditions are often elements or factors. After your global rule, you're going to have issue roadmaps for each statement. So for each issue. So for issue 1, we're going to have an issue roadmap, which is going to outline the rule for that issue with those factors that influence the rule, those guiding factors. And we're going to have an explanation paragraph, and we're going to have a application paragraph applying those rules into our client. And then we're going to have an issue prediction. And then we're going to repeat that same step for issue 2, where we have an issue roadmap, a rule explanation, and a rule application before an issue prediction. And then at the end of all that, we're going to have a global conclusion. And that's the flow of a single authority memo. And for a multi-authority memo, the structure does not change. However, we're going to gather information about the rule of law differently, because one authority may state the rule of law this way, and another authority may build off of that rule, and another authority may actually take away from that rule, and things like that. And this process of developing this is called synthesis, or synthesizing the legal rule. Recall from a while ago where we talked about the legal rule, how it was developed from existing legal rules. So you're given a legal rule, typically through statute or common law, and then a case processes that, and you get an emergent legal rule. Well, a synthesized global rule, for example, is taking all those existing and emergent rules, combining them together in like this little conglomerate, and to say, okay, based off of all the case law, this is what the rule is going to look like. The book that we read has an example where there's a dangerous dog. A dangerous dog. So the original rule is that a dog who is dangerous needs to be licensed. Well, and then we have a rule here that says a dog may be deemed dangerous if it's bit somebody, but a dog may not be deemed dangerous. And then there could be another case that says a dog is not dangerous if it's old, or a dog is not dangerous if it has a disability, even if it was once deemed dangerous. And so you put all those things together from these different cases to say, okay, now all these different authorities are helping me understand what the legal rule is. And later we're going to be talking about how to select certain authorities, which ones are going to be most relevant and prevalent in helping us understand our case law. But for now, just know that selecting multiple authorities is most often quite necessary. It will be very rare for us to not use multiple authorities when conducting legal research and when writing a legal memo. It's very important, it's a very useful skill, and it's a very essential skill when it comes to legal writing. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Law Schoolers. Before I let you go, there are 4 things I want to say. The first thing is if you enjoyed these episodes and if you enjoyed the website, I would invite you to go and join Law Schoolers Pro. And you can do that by going to lawschoolers.com/join. It's a way for you to support us, but there's also a lot of features there that I think you will enjoy. Second thing is that nearly all of our episodes are unedited. The only ones that aren't are pre-law materials, and the reason for that is so you can actually see the legal material in its raw form as I'm learning it as well. The third thing is that the information contained in these episodes are specifically only for educational purposes. They're not to be used as legal advice, and with that, the fourth thing is if it is used as legal advice, we are not liable. That is, Law Schoolers is not liable for any legal outcomes. Thank you again for enjoying the show. Have a good one.